They cuffed me like I was some kinda criminal right there on my own front porch, barefoot, coffee still warm in my hand. Two cops, straight-faced, doing their job, I guess, but behind them. There she was, Gloria Mason. Arms crossed, lips pursed, clipboard under her arm like it was a damn weapon. She looked so proud. Like she'd just saved the neighborhood from a terrorist. This man has refused to comply with community identification protocols, she announced, loud enough for the whole cul-de-sac to hear. I believe he's undocumented. Potentially dangerous. Now, if I hadn't spent the last year playing the role of mild-mannered IT guy, I might have laughed. But I stayed in character, even while they clicked cold steel around my wrist. Because the real truth wasn't something she, or anyone else on that street, was ready for. My name's Nick Walker. I've lived in that quiet little cabin at the edge of Maple Hollow for about 16 months now. Folks knew me as the guy who kept to himself. Polite, helpful when needed, didn't throw parties, didn't mow my lawn on Sundays. You know the type. And that's how I wanted it. Because beneath that cabin under the old floorboards and behind the wood paneling was one of the most sensitive pieces of federal surveillance infrastructure in the region. Echo 12. A covert FBI outpost. What were we doing there? Tracking a massive cybercrime ring. Global scale. Laundered over $300 million in stolen cryptocurrency across several countries. You've probably heard whispers of the group. They don't have a name, but the damage they've done. Hospitals held for ransom. Infrastructure frozen. Billions in losses. And I was sitting on the last breadcrumb trail that could bring the whole thing down. But all it took was one clipboard-wielding HOA president with a taste for drama to blow it all up. See, Gloria wasn't just a stickler for rules, she was the rules. Or at least she thought she was. Former IRS compliance officer. Ran the HOA like she was commanding troops. To her, community meant everyone doing exactly as she said. Mailboxes had to be identical. Grass no more than 2.5 inches. Curtains. Neutral tones only. So when I didn't hand over my ID for her neighborhood verification initiative, it wasn't just a red flag, it was a full-blown siren in her head. Never mind that handing over my real ID would have compromised not just me, but 3 undercover agents and an ongoing federal operation. She didn't care. She just saw defiance. She started digging. Asking questions. Brought it up at every HOA meeting. Convinced herself I was illegal, or dangerous, or both. Went door to door collecting signatures. Telling folks I might be part of a gang or worse, an enemy of the state. And somehow, our paranoia caught traction. I mean, she even had a name for her little crusade, Operation Neighborhood Integrity. Can you believe that? Now, I played it cool. I had to. No sudden moves, no raised voices. You learn real quick in my line of work that sometimes the best thing you can do is let people think they're winning until they're not. But then one morning, she showed up with 2 cops in tow, waving a printed stack of HOA bylaws and demanding I produce a government-issued ID or be detained for trespassing. On my own land. The land the Bureau paid for in full. I told them calmly I didn't have ID on me. One of the officers, the younger one, looked unsure. The older one said something like, "It's probably best if you cooperate, sir." And just like that, I was in cuffs. Now here's where the dominoes really started falling. Because the second I was cuffed and escorted off that porch, something triggered. Not just in the neighborhood, but online. We'd embedded traps, little digital tripwires in the channels this cybercrime group used. And the chatter we picked up that morning. Panic. Movement. Wipe protocols. All their systems started going dark, just like that. 31 undercover agents across 4 countries lost contact with their targets. A year and a half of digital surveillance evaporated in 12 hours. The crypto wallet. Gone. Server trails. Banned. They'd gotten spooked. By an HOA president. And it gets worse. Gloria had tipped off the press. Swear to God. She thought she was about to become a local hero exposing the squatter on the edge of town. She invited Channel 9 to do a live report. There's actual footage of me, in handcuffs, being walked to the cruiser while she talks about protecting the values of our community. The bureau saw it all. I got a call, right there in the back of the squad car. Secure line. Voice I knew well. Nick, it's over. Echo 12's blown. We are pulling everyone. I leaned forward, looked at the older officer, and said calm as I could, you need to call this in. I'm Agent Nicholas Walker, FBI. This is a federal facility. You just compromised the national security operation. The silence in that car. Deafening. Took them less than 4 minutes to confirm it. My cuffs came off. The cruiser turned around. And Gloria. She looked like someone had unplugged her brain. Couldn't speak. Couldn't blink. Just stood there with that clipboard like it might save her. We shut everything down that night. Banned the paper trails. Pulled the gear. Relocated agents. Echo 12 was done. And Gloria. Well, the bureau didn't charge her. Not worth the press. But she was removed from the HOA, barred from leadership. Made to sign an NDA so tight her own cat couldn't meow about what happened. Her reputation. Torched. Her husband moved out 3 weeks later. Half the neighborhood won't even look her in the eye. But here's the twist. I stayed. The bureau figured, screw it, why not make something out of the wreckage? We converted the cabin into a cybersecurity outreach center. Kids come in, learn about phishing and two-factor authentication. Local businesses get advice on how to protect their systems. I went from tracking cybercriminals across 6 continents to teaching teenagers not to click shady links. Funny how things turn out. One afternoon, a letter showed up. Handwritten. From Gloria. No return address. Just said, I thought I was helping. I didn't understand what I was doing until it was too late. I hope, somehow, you finish what you started. I didn't write back. Because the truth is we didn't finish it. The group's still out there. We've recovered maybe 1/3 of the money. And the rest? Floating around in cold wallets across 3 continents. Sometimes I lie awake wondering how much more we could have done if she hadn't gone looking for a villain. So now I ask you this, where do we draw the line? At what point does community safety become something darker, something obsessive, even dangerous? Who gets to decide who belongs and who doesn't? Was I wrong for keeping secrets even if it meant protecting lives? Was she right to ask questions even if it ruined everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because justice, in the real world, doesn't always wear a badge. Sometimes it shows up with a clipboard. And sometimes, it burns the whole damn thing down.